Hello, everyone. So today's webinar is on AI in supply chain management. We hear a lot of things about AI, and we just want clear a few things, especially in the context of supply chain management. So we welcome you. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're signing in from. My name is Aftab Khan, and I'm here with my colleague Danish Mehraj, and together we'll be presenting these few thoughts to you. And we'll have some time left for the question and answer in the end. What we'll see today is that understand the AI fundamentals, and we try to separate hype from reality and identify high value applications within supply chain management. That's the focus, recognize implementation challenges, and prepare for AI enabled careers. So AI is here, we are using it in every business, almost every business, and the more we understand the any expressions, concern, we want to clear that, and then we want to be able to utilize the technology and not be a stranger to it. So then we go to evolution. Danish, will share your thoughts on this, how the technology evolved over the decades.
Yes, so we all know that IT is like present day information technology, or IT has roots back in early 60s and 70s, when you had supercomputers, from big computers that was a mainframes of the size of a room, and all the programming, like all those NASA missions and so on, they had a beginning. At that time, you had a certain level of integrations, or they were only limited to big organizations, or those are organizations for complex calculations. With that, for that time, it was too much. I mean, it was something extraordinary. But as the time evolves, the electronics involved, the electronic chips got down to a very small scale as of today. So everything improved. The processing power improved. So at that time, well, basically, most of the languages were like either assembly, and at that time, people start learning it, bring it to homes. The languages like BASIC and COBOL, or any languages, they had more focus on the software development itself, the hardware itself evolved, and it came from, like, if you think about the Macs and so on, and the small PCs, they switched from mainframes to our living rooms, our classrooms, and so on. So it's a progression. So it did not happen in a day or so. It took decades where we are now, that a small computer like our mobile device is able um, to run an AI application in the background, probably on the cloud, which is so intelligent that it is doing all those image processing in the background. You scan a picture, you upload it, and it gives you all the information about that picture. Like if you scan a symptom. So if you are in a medical field, you take a picture of your skin condition, you upload it, and it gives you some estimation or some degree of diagnosis in a simple text format. So if you go back into the basic language programming, or basics of that, so it started from very basics, and now with the evolution of different languages, the languages, even programming languages, are becoming more human friendly. It was assembly or basic or any other languages. And I would say, if any one language, I would suggest anybody to learn who wants to get into the AI field. It would be Python, and all the libraries, all the frameworks around that Python. So yeah.
Exactly. Very good. Thank you. Let's now move on to the next topic, which is our why it doesn't matter. Why we rely or will continue to rely even more on AI capabilities in supply chain management. First of all, demand is where it all begins. The demand signal drives the supply chain. It comes to sales, comes to warehouses, comes to inventory, goes to production, third-party sourcing, outsourcing, and then to procurement. All the entire supply chain is driven by demand volatility. Demand becoming more dynamic, to say the least, can be unstable, and there's so many factors that affect demand. Shortened life cycles, product life cycles, changing versions, demographics, technology evolution, and innovation, they all affect the demand volatility. And then global disruptions, as we know that things happen every now and then, which throws a spanner into the works, and then you are all of a sudden you are facing. So supply chains that are agile and have robust processes, they are more capable to survive and to weather the storm, rather than those which normally they are struggling. So can you imagine when something bad happens, they're really in dire straits. And then expectations from customers are rising because technology has supported businesses. Lead times are shorter. You order something today online, and next day it's on your doorstep, at your doorstep. So they're not going back. I mean, people expect once they become used to something better, why would they go back? So and you don't have to be worried about it because technology is designed to help you with that. So that's the reason we are using supply chain, AI and supply chain. That's is kind of a evolving thing. And labor shortages. So talent gap. You see, when you transition, let's say an employee or a resource leave a position, moves on, you have somebody new come in, it's unlikely that the new person will have 100% knowledge or training for the job. There will be some gap. So the better you have technology-oriented technology tools available, ready to use, you can train on them quickly, the shorter the talent gap will be, rather than go to all the manual processes, and it takes a longer time to understand. However, having said that, the background processes of that's supported by technology, you must understand that, because without that knowledge, what if something goes wrong? You have no reference to challenge, to compare, and to verify that this indeed should be the case. For example, if you go buy a computer, desktop calculator, test a very simple example. You go buy a desktop calculator, you want to test whether it's working fine or not. Let's take a very simple example. You punch in 2 plus 2 equals, should be 4. If it says 5, now you know that it's not right. There's something wrong with the calculator. So that's a basic example. But in business, you have that core principles, core concepts, how things should work. So if you have that in mind, inculcated through experience, through training, through work, then you can work with the machines and use them effectively, rather than just be driven by whatever they throw in front of you and just take that as a gospel. It is not. It is still business, and you have to understand what should be the answer, roughly speaking. Danish, how about you say a few words on the myth from reality?
That's very interesting because if you go anywhere, from social media to your television and everywhere, you learn from different people in your friend circle. Everybody is talking about like ChatGPT. It is something extraordinary, or you can do cloud code, or you can do all the programming, whatever. Um, I have learned from many colleagues who are still in the software development area. Everybody is saying, "Hey, we have budgeted this much of amount for the AI tools. We are actually using more time and more money developing software with the AI than before, because this is actually an hype, sort of hype, because you can give it a prompt to write a code for you. You can give it a prompt to analyze something for you, but it has the downside. The downside is that the whole all the data it is maybe that all the LLMs are not they had only visibility of a limited data, so they are not trained, they are not perfectly trained for the real data in some cases. um, yes, if you talk about general stuff, the ChatGPT or any LLM, they will give you quite good answers. Yeah. But once you go into the production environment, if in it's software or if any field, it has downsides. It's not so perfect. Um, if you just go there and Google one term, it's called human in the loop or loop engineering and so on. These are the new things which you need to know before you actually jump into the sea of AI. Um, Even big companies, you say, we think big companies can invest, they can have licenses for AI tools, whatever, but even they are exhausting their budgets. So small companies, they can do some automations. They are still doing some automations, but very intelligently. So it's more about how intelligently you use such tools. So you cannot say, hey, AI will remove human in the loop, I would say. The human will remain there. The way we are working today, it is going to change. So couple of weeks ago, I attended Google trainings because they are actually thinking about having a complete sort of environment for building softwares, for building tools using AI, but in a very controlled manner. So we thought, you can give it a prompt and it will write a software, but this software is good for probably for nothing. It's good for proof of concept, probably. It is good for demo, but it's not a production software. So that's why we always have like decision support technology. It helps you. It is not replacing the humans. It is actually helping humans to do their decisions. It gives you some insights into the data if you use data and so on, but it's uh, the subject matter experts, they will remain there. The software architects will remain there. They are there not to go away, because even in the beginning, if you know, you need to have a software, it needs to be tested, the results needs to be analyzed. No AI can do this until today. And in future, it is also not possible because the highly advanced models as of today, they're still lagging behind. They cannot replace the human mind. And this is my first-hand experience. I'm learning from all those organizations who are at the forefront, just like Google or other organizations. They know this, but the business side of it, they have to market themselves. They are good. So I mean, this is a normal business scenarios that they want to market it that AI is something out of the world, but this has limitations.
Limitations, like we understand for ERP systems, they're very strong, powerful tools for doing business. However, we know the reality because they work on real-time data, and you cannot do scenario planning. If you do what-if analysis within an ERP, live ERP, you are disrupting everything. So everything has limitations. And first of all, and just to cap what is just said, recap, Danish, wonderful explanation. Think about the creativity of human mind. Nothing can replace that. It's not possible.
No,
The
no,
machine
it's
will work
not.
with data. The algorithms can be very, very sophisticated, very robust. Data can be very fine-tuned, but still it's not creating new things from imagination. So thank you so much. Let's now talk about, I'll take a deep dive, if you will, into where we apply AI today in supply chain. I'm not going to go through all the bullet points point by point because they are each one of them in itself is a subject to be discussed in detail. But look at the array and the end-to-end encompassing of supply chain capabilities, tools, and processes that AI is playing role. I'll just pick up a few examples. You have push-pull boundary. responding to forecasts to manufacturers at a certain point before differentiation. And then from there, you go against customer orders. That's the push-pull boundary as we learned in Syscom program. Now, to identify the push-pull boundary basically is based on the process. But you can plan your inventory and looking at the pattern of customer orders versus forecast, what's the split, what's the reliability that can help you minimize any inventory losses, any missed orders, and improve customer service. So that's very critical area in terms of where you trying to balance inventory costs with customer service. Another area I would just like to say quickly is a safety stock down the line. Safety stock, as we know, is a need because of forecast variability. That's what drives safety stock. The calculation is based on the normal distribution, the spread and the norm, and there is a formula that works. Normally, you will calculate safety stock for a certain product based on its variability, right? Now, common sense says that you should check the data once in a while, maybe 6 months, maybe for dynamic products, maybe at least once a year, if things have changed. If forecasting has improved, there's less gap between forecast and actual sale. Why would you keep more safety stock? It costs money. AI does that for you automatically. It senses and dynamically changes the safety stock requirements in the system. You don't need to go to master data, change once a year, and all that manual thing. Because you're on dynamic platform, your forecast improves, your safety stock is reduced, you save cost. If there's a gap between this forecast and actual sale increasing for some reason, it's adding on to safety stock, so you're not missing customer service. So it's not like one-time shock. It's a dynamic platform. Similarly, there's so many processes you see, and now if you have ability and understanding of these core principles, these are core concepts. No AI, no computer can replace your understanding as a human being of these processes, because when they deliver a solution to you, you have the ability to analyze, assess, challenge, and adjust if necessary. That's your responsibility. Machines aren't responsible, not responsible for results. Human beings are. So there are tools for you to use, and in each of these areas, use AI, another tool, just like we used to use desktop computers and ERP solutions. Then same thing with AI. It's another tool to improve your performance, improve business performance. The technology is an enabler, right? It's an enabler of human effort. So then you will have to take from here.
Yeah. So when we think about AI, so it's a very generic term. However, there are many sub areas or the areas which are now evolving with time. Is the processing power is exceeding all those powerful machines, GPUs, which are now affordable, even for like a very high level of a machine which can run the LLM on a laptop or a machine which cost 2,000 or 3,000 euros or dollars. You can run such powerful models, and you can actually do all those AI activities on that. So that is that is already doing, or that's already happening, because the hardware has improved a lot. The only thing which we need to be sure that we have the right tools for the right purpose. So if you think about machine learning, it is a very generic term. From AI to machine learning is all about data. Once you have data, you have your supplier data, you have your production data, you have your demand data. You can predict future. You can have sort of forecasting based on those data. You can implement algorithms. We can learn from that data. You can implement such models which can predict in real time based on your data. So this is all what we have been doing. We were doing it, we are still doing it, we are improving it. Even you can do it locally, you can do it on servers, you can do on clouds. Um, what's new about all this is the generative AI part. The language, natural language processing, it has been there, it is still there, it is improving a lot. You, um, yeah, if you think about mm, any regulatory data, for example, you have hundreds of documents which are actually summarizing different rules or different scenarios, um, all in PDF, which is actually difficult. At some point of time, you had all those folders in your offices where you always had to reference to the dictionaries or the data sheets and so on. It is going obsolete because AI or parse the data, interpret the data, they are becoming so powerful that you give it a prompt or you ask something and it can get the data from hundreds of thousands of documents or analyze it and give you the answer. It was not possible before. So
No,
you needed time, you needed expert people. You ask them a question and they know where to look into, and they were looking at such reference books or reference catalogs, so-called catalogs or reference manuals, and then getting the right information for you. So you think of intelligent system sitting there. You buy a car, um, and you give it a model number of that manufacturer and ask for a specific debugging information. It finds you the right model number, you give the model number or you give the VIN code, it finds out the right answer from hundreds of catalogs.
exactly.
It was not possible before
Yeah.
the era of language processing. Similarly, like in the area of computer vision, um, you have intelligent manufacturing. You drop off all or you throw away all those parts which are not compliant, which has any physical defect, for example, and it is doing with the accuracy of milliseconds in some cases. You have very high throughput in the systems. You are constantly monitoring the manufacturing process and doing intelligent decisions based on the data you are receiving. I would not talk about surveillance in the security area or no, or any other areas. Like if you talk about supply chain or manufacturing, this has been there for a long time. It is improving. But the right thing or the new thing here is the generative AI. So machine learning was there, NLP was there, computer was there, computer vision was there, but how to get more intelligent information, how to get some data generated or some information generated from all those knowledge base. So this was the missing part. Humans were, you always needed more and more humans writing reports. Like I know one use case where doctors were writing some reports and so on. So now doctors are still writing some reports. They get the reports generated. Like if I talk about some post-market surveillance data or any data which is coming out of from the field or any assessment, doctors are using such intelligent tools which create some reports using generative AI. They look into it. So based on all those analysis, it has actually made the work of many professionals in different areas easier, but it does not mean that it has completely removed the role of humans. So it
That's the whole message.
it
It
is
is an
saving the time. Yeah,
enabler.
that's
Yeah, yeah, exactly. And the ability, the power to reach data in different domains, collect them together, and using the algorithms to get the right answer. That's the power of AI, basically, and that's what it is. I mean, it's superior because it can access data and analyze and put in front of you. Now it's up to you to based on your existing knowledge of the profession, how to modify, how to use it.
Yeah.
So let's move on to the next one, which is across the entire supply chain. So you are going to say a few words about this one as well, Danish, please.
Yes. So as I said, that AI is not limited to a specific field. The same goes for supply chain. It is not specific to a specific part or the specific area within the supply chain from end-to-end supply chain processes. So just to start from the planning. So if you're in the planning, you can learn from the data, you can learn the demands, you can have intelligent models which are saying, hey, this specific product has more demand during the Christmas season, for example. Yeah. So it learns from there and it can plan that around the quarter 4, you will have more demand for such and such items in the portfolio. So then you start planning Q4. I mean, to predict everything, having all those data points. As we said earlier, we need to have such important data. Similarly, you can trigger procurement, you can monitor the suppliers, you can also see, hey, these suppliers are the critical suppliers. They had issues, some production issues, or they had timeline issues. You keep monitoring, you have such metrics that you say, hey, these suppliers are high risk because they don't never fulfill their promises. And you trigger it. You trigger, for example, the procurement cycle earlier than the others because you know that they have they never fulfill, or the lead times are always higher than they promise. So I mean, you can do it more intelligently. You don't need to have 5 people sitting there. Probably AI is enabled to raise those flags for such suppliers, and one person is enough instead of 5 person monitoring different suppliers,
Yeah, and
depending on the
I'd just
organization.
like to add quickly here, Danish, that there's a process which we of course we use in our training. It is called spend analysis. There's an entire course on that. Spend analysis is such a important tool, and AI helps there because, like you said, you go through multiple spreadsheets to identify where the risks are, especially to source critical materials for your flagship products. Now, AI helps you just go through the clutter and see which vendor, based on certain criteria, either volume discounts or reliability, on-time shipment, on-time delivery, etc. This can simply get you to the right source. That's very important contribution. Yeah, please go ahead.
Mhm. So yeah, the term predictive maintenance, this is one of the key term which we say, hey, the sensor data is you're collating all the sensor data, and based on the those signals coming from sensor data, that something is deviating or degrading performance of some of the manufacturing equipment, you can raise the flag and ask the manufacturing team to replace a component or a machine before it actually fails. So you can predict any failure, and you can be more proactive than reactive. So this is all. There is a terminology, we call it sensor fusion, that all the sensor data coming at one place and being analyzed by intelligent tools or softwares or AI, in fact, which can do it. Similarly, for the warehousing, you can manage an optimal warehousing status, where you don't need to store a lot, but on the other side, you also reduce the cases where you are always having, or you are having less safety stock. Actually, it's more about optimizing the safety stock to make sure that you don't have any stoppage in the manufacturing, because you always have lead times. So you have to but you cannot store all the raw material for next 5 years. I mean, it has shelf life. You can't, you should have an optimized number of days. You can order something, some raw material without compromising on the timelines of the output. So this is very complicated. So this was always done by very, very expert people in the company. So AI is actually helping the young team or young people to get to this. So I mean, this is all expert knowledge coming into the AI engines or AI agents, which are helping people to make process more intelligent. Similarly, for the transportation, route optimization to the delivery. So the right time to leave the the output or the components or anything from the warehouse or from the facility. If you leave, for example, in the evening and you stuck in the traffic jam, so it's not an optimized route. You have to save on fuels and so on. Um, yeah, so chatbots, it's not very new, but on the other side, it is also improving. Uh, we can still remember some very basic chatbots a couple of years ago, or 3, 4, 5 years ago. They were good for nothing. Now they are improving. They have all the company specific data and they are helping. So I give you an example. I had an issue with a battery or with a solar module. Um, and this AI agent helped me out on the telephone from A to Z. I mean,
Wow.
that is, and I don't want to say it's a Chinese or, I mean, it was a Chinese company, but the AI agent was so intelligent that it helped me out debugging the issue with the complete module. It was battery
Wow.
and all that module. And it's my personal experience. That's what, so, I mean, it has this voice engine, which was actually translating all the AI LLM outputs to me and understanding my input on
Wow.
telephone. So
You're troubleshooting
making a
through
real agent.
chatbot. That's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
good thing. Yep.
It was mimicking some background knowledge, background noise as well, that it looks like that it is a real
Yeah,
engine.
working.
Yeah, 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 but it was
Yep.
actually an automated engine. It has all the information about that model number and so on that I already said. So this is really happening, but you need to know how, just give you an example. So it actually asked me that it will contact me on my mobile number, but it did not have my mobile number. It had my landline number.
Okay.
Then I
That's a
said, to
glitch.
him, hey, do you know that how can you SMS me? And I said, you cannot SMS me because, and now it got the point, and they asked for my SMS, for my mobile number. I
Right.
mean, they are not intelligent. They are really, they are improving a lot, but they are not so
Improving, and
intelligent. I mean,
the
I,
more,
I'm,
yeah, the more you put the checks and balances, the more algorithms, the better they become. But that's an ongoing evolution. All right. So just a quick
yeah,
check,
yeah.
time
So,
check, Danish. If
similarly, the people are actually, can go ahead. Yeah, we can go ahead.
I was saying that we had to a quick time check because we have a few slides to cover.
Yeah.
So I want to move on to returns process, especially for medical and pharmaceuticals, because returns are not simply return; it has to be handled with biological or other hazard precautions, and that's where AI guides you and make sure that no incident happens.
Go ahead.
Good. So shall I move on?
Yeah,
Good.
we can move on. Yes, yes, we can move on.
All right. So AI in action, if you let me say a few words about this. So they are being applied across the supply chain, many businesses. Of course, supply chain is our core focus today. So how AI performs that function is that it takes weather patterns, history, forecasts, And if your promotion is going on yours and your competitors, how that happened in the past, how their promotion affected your promotion, because in seasonal products, you are driving to a critical key date, and that's where if you fill the shelves, fill the hangars, fill the fridges, fill the freezers, whoever gets there first, they take the market basically. Because beyond that point, I mean, it's just minimal sale. The pattern and the graph goes down. So that critical TTM, time to market, is where to get the sweet spot, AI helps you a lot in that. Inventory optimization of inventory has many facets to it. Shelf life, you just mentioned, Danish. We use first in, first out, or last in, first out based on financial measures and uh, absorbing the cost production. However, if you're looking at shelf life, then you're not doing FIFO, first in, first out. You're doing FEFO, first expiring, first out. They may have been received sooner, but for some reason they may have older shelf life. So you have to change the criteria from FIFO to FIFO. So that's another input that AI helps a lot identify which should we move out before it expires. They put a certain deadline and timelines for that. Procurement intelligence. So first, procurement is not just price tag, it's the entire life cycle of the product. You buy a cheap product and a cheap raw material on the shop floor, it creates more waste, more downtime, and more product quality issues. So you get the data, and all of that goes into your milieu of the AI intelligence, and then you know which products, price-wise, performance-wise, the entire life cycle, total cost of ownership concept that's used. And manufacturing production capacity is a huge issue. Capacity doesn't come in linear or small increments, it comes in full chunks, like full machine, full plant, full human being. So, and you have to commit resources. It's long term. Meanwhile, you have to deal with capacity challenges. If you're running short capacity, you have options, short-term solutions, run overtime, add a new shift, go weekends, or find a contract manufacturer, or invest in new plant and new machinery. So AI actually helps you build different scenarios financially and logistically. What's feasible, what's not feasible, what's the best solution. So those scenarios are very, very value added in terms of making decisions. Logistics, routing and track traceability and picking the, like for simple example, when we travel on the highway, your GPS tells you which, if there is a road closure, traffic jam, it suggests you alternate routes exactly the same way on a very complex basis. Hundreds of your trucks are on the road and customers are waiting. So it guides you which customer should be served first. You can reroute and redirect. And also, one of the major contribution is the cross-talking. A very complex solution. You need to understand which delivery needs to get there first, and which can we have an inventory. They check the stock at the customer, and if you can delay it a little bit before they run out, then you can serve the customer who is actually running out. So live data goes into it and gets decisions. Customer service, absolutely critical, the front end of business. That's where the customer gets the experience. And that's where, like Darshan just mentioned, chatbots, the more intelligent they are, the more supportive they are, the more you are relying on the AI capabilities. Back to you, Danish, for real world results. If you can walk us through this.
Yeah. So if you talk about Amazon, yeah, so the companies who actually got into this business or get into the AI in the very beginning, they actually started implementing their processes, improving their processes, automating those processes, and they were the market leaders in this area. So they are already winning. They are already optimizing costs. And like you think about Amazon. So if you just take an example of Amazon, how intelligent their softwares are or their platform are, they are suggesting products to the buyers. If you go to the platform, they are suggesting you intelligently based on your past history or your search keywords, and they were coming back with real suggestions. After monitoring, they had enough data. They have been collecting data in the last 10 years, 15 years about the trends, about the demographics. Like if they know your date of birth, they know your age and sex, and they give you suggestion based on that. Um, Similarly, um, they have introduced intelligent robots in their warehouses where time to deliver from click to your doorstep has reduced to, in some cases, some hours. So you know it, especially in the US or in those areas where you have warehouses in a specific location, you can get your item within hours from the Amazon warehouse because they're intelligent robots. They're doing work 24/7. Um, they have optimized their delivery systems. Similarly, for DHL, they have also huge systems which are actually uh, reducing the delivery cost. Um, all those companies like Walmart, which was already optimizing, they had very intelligent systems. Their complex supply chain with lower prices. Um, like they many companies who are like in the retail, they have intelligent systems, they are intelligent self-service systems which actually make it possible that you can pay yourself. So everybody knows that some of the companies, you just take a device with you and this device will keep on documenting everything, whatever you are buying. And once you are outside, you're in the payoff, everything is being documented, and you just get through the exit gate because you have already paid for it. It's already documented. I mean, this is all what you see that these companies are using the power of integration. They they have such systems where they integrate their backend ERP systems with the data they are getting. And this is not one day story. They started consolidating their data 10 years ago, and now they are reaping the fruits of those integrations and those data pipelines they establish. It's not about get the data today, it's about the integration also such pipelines that they remain active. They have always live data coming in, feeding their systems so that you have the system are as intelligent as they have the data. So if they have outdated data, it's good for nothing. They should have the real-time data. Um, and definitely you need the skilled force who know how to use that data. They are very
Absolutely.
old-fashioned people who actually don't like to automate things, or they don't like it. So you need to have fresh blood or people who are open to such ideas.
This makes me this makes me laugh because old fashioned or new fashioned, who would not like to use a cell phone? I mean, so technology comes into your life and you get used to the benefits, and then you may be listening to old songs on your cell phone or new beats, doesn't matter, is there to help with your lifestyle. So that's great overview. Then shall we move on to the, the skill for the
Move on.
future? I want to say a
Yes,
few words on that, please.
yes. So um, we still think that our university education is enough once you get the degree and you get into the field. There are there are two aspects of it. One aspect is that you think about, yeah, we learn new things in the university and we just get into the field and we are into there. I mean, but this will never help because our education system is not catching up with the new developments. That is one of the reasons that any student or even a professional needs to upgrade themselves. They need to know the systems which are improving now. um, like 5 years ago or 10 years ago, if you ask somebody, hey, do you need some tools? Yeah, we know some tools like Excel or Access databases and so on, but that's not enough anymore. You need
Yeah,
more intelligent tools which are consolidating all information. Like you need Power BI, which can create nice dashboards, which can collating all the information from different tools. You need to have data literacy. You need to know that from how to use that data. It was very basic, like to know the Excel, it's good, it's nice to have, but you need to have on to some more tools on top of it. Um, Now, as you already said that in the past, it was enough to get a university degree, get into somewhere and work through. That's not enough anymore. Now it's more about subject matter experts. You need to have.
exactly.
AI is doing a very good job actually phasing out boring tasks. So they have been automated now. Now the real power of intelligent people is there. You need to be more intelligent. You need to have the subject matter experts knowledge,
I agree.
and you need to, in the beginning of this webinar, you told me, or you coined a term. It's like AI is actually seeking those intelligent peoples or experts who can guide the AI, so that, or which are the thinkers, or which are the intelligent people. So AI is actually honestly phasing out those people who were doing monotonous jobs and doing copy paste or managing some Excel sheets. This could be done by AI, but any intelligent work would never be replaced by AI, because AI is not so intelligent enough as of today.
Not creative. Let's put it this way. It doesn't have a spirit. It doesn't have. It's not creativity.
It's not
It it it
creativity.
it gets better and better, but it's using the data that we provide and the algorithm that we write. Human beings write the algorithms. They provide the data, and the data is collected, of course. So it's a huge, huge machine. It's a huge intelligence. Again, it is there to serve human beings, help them improve their businesses and their lives. Absolutely. So, guys, any Q&A? If there are any questions you want to ask in the comments discussion, we welcome you. But we also know that we are over time already. Let's quickly share with you the upcoming programs at BRASI, which really help you upgrade your skills and have core concepts inculcated so you can use AI and other tools, having the business knowledge so you can use the AI tools to the best value. We would like to see you in our upcoming webinars. Next one is on July 27th, co-hosted with our affiliate in Nigeria, Nobility Limited. That's amazing. We'll like to see you there, guys. Just go to LinkedIn, press your account, and register yourself. With that, I will, with a profound thank you to Danish for your time, for your expertise, and to everybody who could join today. Really appreciate it. And we'll post this video recording of this session onto LinkedIn and send to everybody on Zoom. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you again. Bye-bye.